Hey, welcome to my channel. Well, it's that time. The time for us to reap the reward of beekeeping. I always bring you along on all of the journeys that I take. So today, there's no accomplishments again, but we just harvesting honey. And I just want you to take a look and notice how the bees are acting today. There's honey scent all in the air. I can smell it just standing right here. See, I haven't even started and there's a bee up here buzzing me in the face. So they know something is getting ready to go down. The good thing is they look like there's a flow still going. I see them whipping in and out the hive. So that's a good thing. They'll be a little bit distracted. So I'm going to be smoking and using my beacon today because as you can see, they're out flying around. Usually you don't see them until you go inside the hive, but I'm just standing right here. And that's why it's always good to have your personal protective equipment on. Never take a chance and go out and stand around the hive just trying to be cool to get a shot with you in front of the beehive with no gear on. That's the stupidest thing you could ever think of, because a sting in the eye could take your eye out and put you out of commission. So always have your personal protective equipment on and never take these for granted. Remember, a bee has a stinger and the bees sting and they're dangerous. So here we go. We're going to get started. And I'm going to go in my big hive here, the yellow box. I'm going to take that off because I know that should be ready to harvest from the last time I came out and looked. The frames were about 80 to 90% capped. So it's been about 2 weeks now. So I'm sure that they have them capped. And once again, like I say, they know I'm coming. So they out here flying around. Well, as you can see, I had to cut the film. I couldn't show you this. It was just too graphic. I didn't want the new beekeepers to become intimidated by me going in the hive taking honey. The bees get very, very defensive. As you can see by the amount of bees flying around my head that they're not too happy. But I just smoke them out here and they quiet down once the smoke get them. But yeah, I got about, I want to say 8 or 9 frames out of here, the yellow box. So I refilled it so I didn't take it off. And there's more that'll be ready as the season goes on. But for right now, 9 is good. That should give me about maybe 30 pounds of honey, 28, somewhere around there. That's enough to keep some of my honey customers satisfied because they kept asking, honey ready yet? Honey ready yet? So anyway, I got some honey, and when I get inside, I'll show you the frames I got because the bees, yeah, they found my little stash over here now. I got it covered up and the wind blew the top off. So they found my little stash. So I had to go chase them away. But anyway, I'll show you my little stash over here. Let's walk over here. And this is how I take the honey off. I got a super right here. And what I do is I'll cover it up with a cloth and I'll take the frames out of that yellow frame and I'll put them in the blue box. I got my screen at the bottom so they can't get in. And then that has 8 frames. What I'll do is I'll take it away from the hive. I'll get my bee brush. And then any bees that's remaining on it, I'll brush them off and put them back till I get all the bees off. And then I'll take it inside and get the extractor ready for harvesting. But anyway, I wish I could have shown you me taking the honey supers out, but what I'll do is I'll show them to you once I get the bees cleared away and I get inside. I'll pull them out and show them to you. Well, here we are. We're inside the shop now. So yeah, that was it's not always fun trying to get honey. You know, sometimes it goes smoothly and sometimes they know you're coming. So like I said at the beginning, they probably knew I was coming and they get very defensive. So I was just testing them to see how far they were going to follow me. So here's my little path. I'll walk all the way around the office. By the time I take off about maybe 6 feet away from the hive, they usually turn back and go back to the nest. This time they followed me all the way around the office. So I have a 16 by 24 in the back of my house set up, and this is where I run my office from. So they followed me all the way around the office, back to the front door. I had the smoker, and I just, puffing it as I walked to keep them off, and that didn't help. They just kept following me. So they followed me all the way to the front of the house under the mango tree. So that tells me they're pissed. So they don't usually follow you that far, but this is some of the things you have to consider when keeping bees at your house. When they get really, really agitated or you upset them or whatever happens. And I'll tell you something also, there are so many bees in there. Like I say, that's my biggest hive because I was doing it quick and I saw a gray cloud setting up above me. I didn't want to get caught in the rain. So I started going fast. And of course, a couple of bees got pinched. And like I always tell you, it's not good to kill bees. So once the pheromone of the dead bee started hitting the air, they got a little more defensive actually, and they just start butting my mask. But if I didn't have this gear on, those would be stings. Every time they butt you, they trying to sting you. So because I have on my suit, I didn't see any stingers in my suit, which is good. But of course, I'm still in it. I'll have to take it off and inspect it. And so, all right, let me show you what I got here. I told you when I get in, and I'm keeping my gear on just in case there's bees in here, you get one. So I didn't want to totally let my gear down. All right, so here's what I got out of there. This is 100% capped, and this is how I like to get them. And you see that side? Same thing. 100% capped. Now you can take them up to 75%, but what you have to do is get a refractometer and measure the moisture in it to make sure it's not above 18%. If it's above 18%, that'll ferment. However, there is a fix for that. You can dry it. Now, here is one that's quite not 100, but see, you can take that. That's about 90, 93% capped. And here's the other side. So I just want to show you, it doesn't have to be fully capped. They say 75%, but I don't like them 75%. I want to make sure my honey is dried. The bees decided it. All right, here's another one. That's a little bit better. This side is about 95%. So I got about 8 frames here. Let me see if I can get some more. Oh, here's another one. That's the same, 100% on that side. And then about 98, 97% on that side. So you can take these. And I'm just going through all of them so you can see what we got here. And yep, there we go. So here's another one. And I took all of these out of that yellow box. I told you when I went the last time they were capping it. So this is what you call capping it. When they cap all of the caps on it, that means they're storing the honey. And look, I got one hive beetle right here. And that's why, right here. And that's why if you're not going to harvest it right away, you want to freeze these. Put them in the freezer so no hive beetle larva is not in it. Because if you leave these out, the hive beetles will lay larvae in it and they'll spoil your honey. So because I'm getting ready to harvest this right now, I'm not worried about him. When I see him again, I'll take care of him. So here we go. So I'm getting ready to set up my extractor. Of course, I'll give you a shot when I'm harvesting. Let you see how that goes. Although I already have a video on harvesting honey, you can watch that. So we got this. So stay tuned for the honey extraction. All right. Welcome back. Well, you won't need to see my face, but I got my station set up here. I got my uncapping station right here. Got my uncapping knife, my uncapping fork, all ready to go. Got my frames over here. So we're going to get started. Got my extractor right here set up, ready to go. So let's get started. Beautiful. So this is the first one we're going to take off. So what we do is I got a nail right here. That little black dot, that's a nail. And what you do is you stick this frame down in that nail so it don't slide. And then you can spin it however you want to spin it to get the cappings off. So what we're going to do, we're going to start on this side and take the cappings off. Oh, it's bleeding honey already. Yeah, they got it loaded. Ooh, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so got one side done. We'll spin it around. Get the other side done and see that. Now this honey here looks a little darker. I mean, it looks the same as last year, but it's a little darker. Last year it was like clearer. But you know, it depends on the floral sources where the bees get the nectar from. That determines the color. So we'll get this all off here. Get that down in there. And what I'll do is I'll squeeze that in my honey crusher. When I get done, we'll squeeze that wax in my honey crusher. Okay, so now we got one. I got honey dripping, so just gonna have to zoom in on this. This side's done, that side's done. So now we get the uncapping fork and all the caps that we didn't get off, we just run over them with that. Get those open so that the honey can come out when you spin it. We'll just rip those open. Now these I don't usually check with my refractometer, but the ones that's like 80, 95%, sometimes I check them. You know, the bees know when it's ready. Once the bees put a cap, you know, I don't usually bother it. I just let the bees tell me when it's ready. That's why it's good to just wait until they get it capped. All right, so this one's ready to go inside the extractor. And this is going to get messy here. All right, so we're going to put this one in the extractor. Go all the way down, and we go to our next one. The good thing is I got 8 frames, so this will work out good. I got 8 frames. So I'll get two, we'll do 4 spins with 2 each, and I'll be done. So I don't have to worry about the extract the wobbling, because sometimes when you do one frame, it doesn't balance out because you don't have the right amount of weight on each side. So it doesn't balance out. All right, so this one, we got this one cut off. And I haven't tasted it yet. This has a little different taste from my last batch. It's still good, but my last batch had like a little fruity, tangy flavor at the end. Now this I don't taste that, but it tastes nice and sweet. So look like they changed up the floral sources or where they get the honey from. All right, that side's ready. Let's get this other side cut off. And I'm not gonna videotape this whole thing because we already know how the honey. I already have a video on how to harvest honey. So you can go to my channel and watch that one. All right, so I thank all my subscribers for hanging in there and waiting around to see this actual reward. This is the reward that us beekeepers get at the end. After all the hard work you put in, taking care of your bees, doing mite treatments, making sure they're healthy, feeding them when there's a dearth, when there's not enough floral sources for them because the developers keep cutting down all the trees trying to build, and they cut down all the things that the bees use to forage on. And they don't realize that they're harming the environment and the bees. So we beekeepers, we take care of them. We make sure they get that feeding that they need and just take good care of them. And this is what you get. But this, it can't be, like I say, always about the honey. So I'm gonna try to give you a half and half here. I want to take away the cutting station. All right, so we got 2 frames, 1, 2, and we're just gonna spin this out. There it is, the liquid gold. That's the beekeeper's ultimate dream. That's your reward for taking care of your bees. Now, let me ask you a question. Is that worth a few stings here and there? I say yes. Hey, I'm back. Just here chilling under my mango tree. All of these beautiful mangoes all around me that the bees pollinated my mango tree. Well, anyway, I'm back giving you an update on the honey harvest. I'm so glad that you could join me for the previous videos to go through the stages of trying to harvest honey and how defensive the bees are. So my total weight of honey was 25 pounds from 8 frames. Last year I got 25 pounds from 9 frames. Not sure what happened there, but this year I'm a lot prepared. Last year, that was my first year starting. This is my actual second year starting, and this is just the first harvest. I got like 340 pounds of honey to harvest. And right now I just harvest 25 pounds. So you do the math. There's plenty more honey to harvest. So today was an exciting day, very relaxed, windy day, overcast. And however, that rain did show up. And I'm glad I hurried up and finished the honey harvest because right after I finished and got in, the rain started. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video of the honey harvest. Just to give you some ideas of what's required, some of the tools that you need to harvest honey, and just a lot more things to come. So for the new beekeepers, I hope you have a happy Sunday afternoon and enjoy the rest of the week.